Yes, in my eye. You know, I'm not gonna argue that I'm never not prepared. I'm just gonna argue sometimes I'm missing a few things. Or you know how like when you're about to leave and you're like, oh my god, like can't believe I left my wallet or my sunglasses, and you run back and go get it, but like you already were fully prepared. It's like that when anytime I make these videos. Let's give you that one. I'll tell you that. Anyways, let's get with this. All right. So today is a beautiful day outside. Can't believe it. It's like amazingly like clear skies, no more rain. But we're stuck still inside. Cha, dude. It's just all loud, dude. Haven't gotten a haircut, as you notice. My hair is messed up. I can't wait to go get a haircut. That's like the first thing I'm gonna do. Well, like say hi to my friends and catch up, even though I've been talking to them all day. But you get what I'm saying. You catch my drift. Just spend time with them. Probably go to art museums or something like that. Who knows? So I thought I was like, oh man, like the video I was gonna make next. I was thinking about doing like something where like, oh, let me edit Lightroom, let me show something like cool, because I was gonna talk about editing style, and there's so many editing styles that people have. Like there's like Brandon. I'm probably gonna pronounce his last name. Brandon Wolfenhausen. I don't know. Wolfenstein. He has so a lot of people who know about him. He has a really cool like neon colors kind of vibes and stuff. And because I saw his post and I thought about, man, I want to talk about like editing those kind of styles, like how to create your own, or how to like start off, like what's the best way to do it. But I thought, if you're starting off, or you're someone's watching this and you're starting photography, or you need kind of like an insight, I think I would first just start off by explaining like what is Photoshop and Lightroom, because they're both, no matter where you go, you're gonna hear those two names, Photoshop and Lightroom. They're both two softwares that everybody uses. Not only that, I think they're like the kind of more dominant one in my opinion, because you can't really go anywhere and be like, yeah, I use this kind of app, and people are like, what, huh? But anyways, so I thought I'd make a video of the two. I'm not gonna make a comparison, because I think there's so many videos already on YouTube about comparison. I think this one's gonna show you both of them and then show you how they kind of work with each other, because in my opinion, that's what it's really about, is how they work well with each other. Because the thing is, like, I think we neglect one of the two, and I understand, like, for some of you, people were scared to use Photoshop. I was scared of using Photoshop. In fact, actually, when I started doing photography, I was using Photoshop and I had no clue what I was doing, because I was like, this is too advanced for me. But I would say, like, it's good. It's, don't like discourage the other and be like, nah, I'm not gonna use that. Both are great tools and they both complement each other. I guess the best way to say it is that, like, Lightroom is your fundamental editing tool. It does so much, and it's what almost everybody does. Let's jump into Lightroom. I already have it up, as you can see. This is my friend Tyler. She's super cool, super chill. We did a photo shoot and stuff, and pretty much I was gonna use this photo as an example, because what I wanted to do here, there's something I wanted to capture in this photo, but I couldn't do it because of the bush and a lot of those flowers weren't blooming. So this is how I would show you pretty much how Photoshop kind of helps each other out. Anyway, so Lightroom is your basic fundamental editing software. It's what everyone uses. It's there are free ones, granted, if you want to save that dollar, but if you want to do the subscription plan, I would say do it, because it's fun. But the way I see Lightroom is you can do a lot of things. You can edit multiple photos. You can start albums. This collection areas where you can kind of like store your albums. You can have your basic editing tools right here. These are super cool, super clutch. You have your stuff like, your exposures, drop it down, contrast, highlights. You have so much to use. I like the way that looked for some reason. But sorry, I'm like distracted. I'm like doing this photo. I'm like, tone curves, this is HSL, hue, saturation, luminance. That's for your, like, adjust your colors and stuff to make them bright, darker, or not, sorry, saturation, lose the color, make the color more vibrant. Lightroom is just really good. It's really good at organizing. It's really good at editing photos, and it's really good at, there's like a lot of cool tools that they have here that can help better your photo. Like I said, basic editing, adjustments for like adjusting exposures, contrast, lightrooms, tone curves. split toning details. It's just like, it's the whole enchilada. That's the truth. It is the whole grand prize. It is the pearl of the earth. What's that saying? I don't know what that saying is. What's that? The earth was a clam and you're my pearl. Something you would say to your significant other. I don't know what it is. Not the one where it's like, you're the apple to my eye. Which I'm still confused why that is a saying. But I'm like, if someone knows it, please figure it out by all means. Anyways, it offers a lot of cool stuff like cropping, cloning, red eye mixing, gradient, radio, airbrushing. Those are cool tools. Those are fantastic tools. I use, if I'm in a rush or I really want have something very minor to edit, I would use these tools mainly. Airbrushing is your best friend. So for example, like say if like the bush was like pretty much blown out, this airbrushing tool will pretty much mask that entire area for me to like edit that spot. You can't see it, but if I hover over this dot, you can see where I pretty much painted over the brush. I have auto mask on, that's why it looks funky. But for example, like I said, like the exposure was down, I just go to click exposure, bloop, right there. Oh my god, it's like magic. It is. What sorcery is this, you would say? Sorry, someone's like texting me right now. Let me turn this off. Sorry, I'm like in the. I left my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I usually leave it on Do Not Disturb during this time because I want to like get through this video. Anyways, so Lightroom is super cool. It's super easy, super like. I don't want to use the word basic. I've been saying fundamental because I feel like you can do so much. I don't want people to think like, oh, Lightroom is only for amateurs and stuff. No, everyone uses it. I uses it. I know professionals who use it because Lightroom is one of the best editing softwares there is. There are free ones, and you can argue indifferently, saying like, oh, well, I use this one or I use this one. Well, that's great. I really don't care, but we're talking about Lightroom right now. But along with there's so much, like there's so much. I'm like cutting myself off because I can't think right now because someone's like lawn mowing in the back. Are you kidding me? I know it's gonna hear it. I know it's gonna stop. Let me just pause this. Okay, it's not picking it up. I'm so happy. If it picks it up, I'm sorry, you're gonna hear a lawnmower in the back. They're doing the back. Anyways, back to what I'm saying. Lightroom is an amazing tool. I use it all the time, and especially if you're starting to build up clients, because you can do, you can organize your albums. Say for example, like you have thousands of photos. Collection's really clutch. Like I said, you can start doing like creating your own albums where you can put all the photos there. Not only that, if you have the Creative Cloud, which you usually would get if you subscribe to Adobe, you can do online albums. So when I do photo shoots, back in the day, I used to send each photo through a text, and that was the worst thing I've ever done, because my phone would be like, oh, this is so much to process, I'm going to restart. So this is when I had a 6, right, or like a 5. Now I have a 10 XS. I know some of you are like, bro, we're in the 11 age. Dude, I got the XS when the 11 came out, so chill out. Anyways, collection's really good because I can send all like online albums. I can do if I have a client, I can just be like boop, boop, right there, and they have it, and it's synced into my phone, into my iPad. So say for example, like I'm on the road and my client texts me like, hey, like in this photo, like the trash can behind her, can you fix that? I'm like, yeah, I can totally do that. And I can just pull out my iPad or my phone and just do it there, and it'll sync to the cloud, which is really cool. I love it. But like I said, Lightroom is without a doubt the best tool. I want to go more. I think I will go in depth more, but right now it's kind of like, hey, this is what Lightroom is. This is what, you know, hey yo. But that's what it is, and I love it. Like I said, it helps me make my photos. And I think people will use Lightroom all the time, and this is what I'm saying. Like you can use Lightroom, but at the same time, I feel like you shouldn't neglect it. Hold on, I just feel like this. I keep stopping the video because I feel like the lawnmower in the back is like getting in there. And I'm just such a perfectionist, and I keep getting distracted. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Lightroom's great, but here's the thing. When you start using Lightroom, don't think this is the only tool you're going to use, because I've noticed I was the same way. I would just continue to use Lightroom. I never touched Photoshop. I actually didn't touch Photoshop until about 3 years into doing photography, because sometimes I was just like, you know, because there's a photo, or sometimes there was a sign, a trash can. There was something in the photo that I couldn't. I'm just like, this has ruined the photo. Whether it be a person, like I said, person, trash can, sign. Until someone was like, hey, you know, you can adjust that in Photoshop, because there is tools. There's the clone and heal tool, but the thing is, it's that it does, you can either do it manually or do it auto. Sometimes it does a really great job, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I'm just kind of like, meh. And this is where I was saying that it complements each other, because Lightroom is like, they're partnerships. That's what I'm saying. Lightroom, Photoshops, they're partners, and I don't think you should neglect the two. So let me show you. So let's jump into Photoshop, because, for example, this photo, there's not a lot of flowers I wanted, but I really wanted Tyler to be surrounded by flowers. I couldn't do it because the flowers weren't blooming, and, you know, it is what it is. So let's jump into Lightroom, Photoshop, I'm sorry. I had too much coffee, that's the truth as well. So here we are in Photoshop. Now, you're going to notice I edited the photo. I did this earlier today because I was kind of like, you know, like, I don't want to, you know, have just, you know, the boring basic one, even though this photo is amazing. Let me see. So we're going to zoom in real quick. So this is Photoshop. Now, some of you may have seen it. Some of you are currently using it now. So if you're watching, this video is mainly for beginners. So if you already, you know, don't worry, you can just skip through this or watch it and support me, because that's what friends do. They support each other. And because, like, you know, it'd be nice if you guys were like, I realized I did actually overdo this on the the brightness. Now that I look at it, I edit this in the morning. Okay, guys, do not yell at me. But Photoshop is super cool. Let me get out of this. Photoshop is super cool, and it's every year when they have an update, I feel like it becomes easier to use or more descriptive, or like there's less. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know how, like, when people are like, this is the steps you have to take, they remove those steps, or they make it to the point where those steps, the next step's not hard to get, you know? Photoshop offers, like, super cool, stellar things, like, you know, it's more like an in-depth editing app, in my opinion. So these are your tools here. These are each tool, like, I know people who said, like, they barely use most of them. Just depends on how detailed you are. And this is right here is your, why are you up? Leave me alone. Sorry, this thing, like, I don't know why this thing's kind of, why are you not closing? Alright, I closed it earlier today, now I don't remember how to close it. Anyways, this is your layer group. This is your best friend. This is where all your, como dice, anything you do, any edits here, create new layers, and it'll be on there, like that. So, for example, that's what's so cool about Photoshop, is that it's designed to not do anything permanent. Or if you do something and you don't like it, you can easily delete that editing, that layer. I can't even think. You can delete that layer, which is amazing. Photoshop is widely used for, like, just for in-depth editing, in my opinion. It is used to pretty much, like, make photos better, in my opinion. So, for example, like, one thing, the clone tool. This is an amazing tool. I love it every second. Oh, this is another cool thing. If you hover over clones tool stamp, it shows you, like, each tool shows you what it's used for. Most of them. There we go. There's another one. All right, cool. So for some reason it was like, nah, screw you, dude. But yeah, so each one kind of shows you, like, what each one's used and stuff, which is nice. Anyways, because there's so many tools. Like, I want to go in depth. I really want to. But right now, this is just the basis of what it is and what isn't. Okay. What is and what should be. That's a good Led Zeppelin song. Look it up. Anyways, so for example, like I said, my photo, I took it. I love the photo. I edited it really well. But there was missing one thing. I didn't like how there was so much boring space right here, this gap right here. I didn't like it. So what I did, for example, and this is just proof how amazing Photoshop is. So we're using the clone tool because I want to move this flower. And look at this. Actually, hold on. Let me reduce the hardness. So hardness is kind of like the feather. Feather is kind of like this, like, instead of, it blends. It's a blending tool. That's the best way you can put it. I'm, like, trying to make it sound like I'm trying to, like, not be so in detail when I'm explaining it, because I know some of you guys are like, well, I've never used Photoshop, or I've never used this, and I'm saying, like, certain vocabulary, and you're like, huh? Excuse me? But yeah, for example, like, I wanted to cover this with flowers. The clone tool is amazing at doing that, because, like I said, it blends in pretty much all these flowers that I want in there, you know? Because I really, like, had this vision of Tyler kind of being covered in flowers, and when I took this photo, but at the same time, I couldn't, this bush decided to just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna blossom for you. But, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it is a tool. It is something that you shouldn't neglect. If you're starting photography, I understand it can be scary at first, and you're like, bro, there's so much I have to do. Like, that's a lot of tools. I don't know anything about layer or masking or opacity. These are so many fancy words that I'm throwing out. Not trying to show off. Not trying to make it seem like I know everything, but, like, you know. But the thing is like I feel like I was the same way when I first started Photoshop. Or taking photography, I literally could not like. I know me. I was like, no, I don't want to. And you know, to be honest, some of my most favorite photos it wasn't the vision. I know. Sorry, I'm just like noticing there's so much of the same flowers. A lot of the photos I took weren't really what I wanted them to come out, and I realized, and I was feeling discouraged. I started to the point where I was like, I started to feel like I didn't have a creative side. I started to feel like, you know, like part of me was like, oh, I can't do this. You know, like I can't take these photos I would see on Pinterest or Instagram, and I came to the point where like I kind of like was belittling myself and thinking that I didn't have the creativity. But then I started looking up YouTube videos, and I started realizing that, you know, like Photoshop is not it's not just like a heavy in-depth tool. It's really like a tool to help you, you know. And the more I started to realize that like I have to learn how to use it. The more I realized that there's so much I can do. Like, that's kind of looking better as it is now. Let's jump back into the screen. Let me show you what my screen looks. This looks better than it is. But, you know, that's the thing. If you start off photography or you're just using Lightroom, there's no problem with that. Use Lightroom. Go ahead and use as much as you want, because it's a really good tool, especially with clients, because you send online albums. You can edit multiple photos, but also don't neglect Photoshop, or vice versa. If you're starting on Photoshop because you want to do really in-depth graphic designs, or like do some like weird posters, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't neglect Lightroom, because Lightroom can also help. Like if you throw up a photo in Photoshop, you can definitely edit on here. You can definitely do the adjustments on here because there's the adjustment tabs. But when it comes down to like more, like each one complements each other. So Lightroom, you can do even like really in-depth photo editing, and then Photoshop is help you to make the photo better. That's the best way I can put it. Because like I said, if there was like a sign, a person, a trash can, or you know, you have a photo with your ex, you kind of just don't want to be in that photo anymore, dude, you can remove that ex with using like a erase tool, or you can use like pretty much a clone tool and like clone out, put a wall right there or something like that. I would say Photoshop is like the big brother of Lightroom, because it does more. I don't know why that was a good example, because I can't think of any examples. I can't think of a good analogy for Photoshop in comparison to Lightroom, but Photoshop does more. It does more in-depth editing. It alters the photos. And what's crazy is like I was mentioning layers. When you create multiple layers, you can actually edit. When you edit on those layers and you do something you don't like, you can remove that layer and it keeps a photo original. So like Photoshop helps to make things be temporary but actually permanent. Temporary when during the edit process, permanent when you like export it and you post it on Instagram or you make a photo out of it. And Photoshop is widely used for many things. Like I said, graphic design, making business cards. I made business cards on this baby. Making like wallpapers. I use it sometimes to make my borders, or if there's a frame in my video and I need to add something. I just burped, so sorry. If I need to add something, that's it. That's what I use it for. And the thing is, like, I'm doing my best to not neglect Photoshop, and I think so too. There's a lot of videos about comparisons of what to use when you first start. Argumentally, Lightroom is user-friendly. It's great for beginners because it's fundamental. It is just your standard editing tool. I hate using the word standard because I don't want to make it sound like it's like, it is just your basic. It is your, I keep using basic. It is pretty much like, it's what you want to use it for. It is what you want to use it. I swear that lawnmower is in this recording. Okay, it wasn't, but oh my god, if I edit this, I might edit this video and I went hear it, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so mad. This video's taking too long too, and that's what making me more mad. Anyways, Photoshop is great. Use it for everything. Use it for like almost, I don't know how to explain it, but I use it for everything. It's more than just like a tool that you hear people like, how like people are like, oh my god, she Photoshop her butt. Like, no, it's more than that. It's not something to make you look better. It's something to make your photos look better. And don't neglect it. Don't feel discouraged that you can't do it, because I was at the same spot, and so many great photos that I could have like easily edited could have been done on Photoshop. And some of them I don't even post because I'm just like, I don't like the way this looks. But that does, lead me to what I was going to say, is that I might go through some of the photos that I didn't want to edit because there was something in the way, or there was a trash can, and I might re-edit that and post it, because there's really good. I have photos I've taken that I was like, whoa, that's a good photo, but there's a trash can in there. Or, man, that's a really good photo, and there's a person in there, So definitely use it too. I'm sorry if this wasn't too in depth. The lawnmower was really bothering me. But I did take a week off last week because I was kind of like not feeling it. So because I did the video the first time and then I was like, nah, there goes the lawnmower again. I swear, bro, oh my god. They usually do it in the morning, which is bother me. Somebody slept in. That's what's the truth. But I do want to go in depth. I do want to go in depth more into Lightroom, into Photoshop. And I think when I go into more in depth of Lightroom, it's really going to be like a kind of like also learn how to use your styles. I might also talk about presets because there's always like this weird love and hate for presets. Oh, he's so close now. Anyways, I'm going to cut this video short because this lawnmower is going to kill me. And I'm going to be so mad when I have to edit this video because I'm going to hear it in the background and I'm just so annoyed. Oh my god. Anyways, we'll make another video about going in depth in both Lightroom and Photoshop because right now I just want to cover the bases. I just want to cover the grounds, show you what is what, and how not to neglect the both. Because you know, hey, they're complementary tools. You know, it's I found the analogy. It's a chef without his chef knife, or with his chef knife. You know, because you can't be a chef without a chef knife. Dude, there's probably a better analogy to be honest, but you know what? At this point, that lawnmower just ruined my day. Well, not really. No, my day's still going. It's not gonna ruin my day. But you know what? That's it. That's fine. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe. I'm sorry that this wasn't as appealing as most videos, but trust me, that lawnmower is gonna get it. But anyways, enjoy. I'll see you next week, I think. Right? Next Tuesday? When do I post these videos? Tuesdays. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.